Hello PlayStation Nation and Xbox friends, Mr. Alan C. here with some exclusive Destiny news just breaking for you. We're going to do a whole rundown of what the full game includes. Stay tuned. Alright gamers, now would be the best time to break out that notepad and take some notes if you would like. Let's go over Crucible Maps. First, we stated there would be 11. Earth will have 3. The first is called Twilight Gap. The second is Rusted Lands. The third is Exodus Blue, a PlayStation exclusive. The moon will have 2 Crucible maps, one called First Light, the second called Anomaly. Mars will have 3 Crucible maps, the first called Bastion, Bastion, the second Firebase Delphi, and third Blind Watch, which we've seen in the beta. Venus will have 2 Crucible maps, one called the Asylum, one called the Shores of Time. Last of all, Mercury will have 1 Crucible map called the Burning Shrine. Damn, that's a lot of content. My apologies for that frightful video clip. Now, let's go over the Crucible game types, which we've all been wondering. First off, Trials of Osiris, also known as Skirmish. It's 3 vs 3. You have caught the Eye of Osiris. Venture to Mercury and prove yourself as one of the Crucible's elite. Only the worthy may face the trials of Osiris, for only the worthy are strong enough to endure what is to come. A string of victories will earn great rewards, but lose 3 times and you're out. Next, you have the Iron Banner. We tried this in the beta. It's 6 vs 6. Champions are born in battle here. Prove your might and earn respect of the Lords of Iron. Next, the Grand Arena, also known as Rumble. It's 3 players versus 3 players. Prove your merit to the new monarchy in pure combat. You against all. Hone your light by challenging your fellow guardians in a fight for survival. So you're up against everybody. It's like a free-for-all. Next, we have Dead Sectors, also known as Control. It's 6 vs 6. Dead orbits desire new territories to expand their reach beyond the city. Fight for control of strategic battle zones. Hold your ground to gain the momentum. Next, there's an Ancient Relics, also known as Savage Mode. It's 3 vs 3. The Arax of Dead Orbit covet rare artifacts. Secure and defend the relics. Claim the secrets of our past. Next, you have Executors Challenge, also known as Skirmish. It's 3 vs 3. New monarchies seek those capable of reclaiming the frontier, one battle at a time. A focused engagement between 2 fire teams, 3 vs 3. Teamwork is your greatest weapon and is required here. Next, you have the External War, also known as Clash. It's 6 vs 6. The Future War cult seeks champions who face the inexorable future. Form an alliance and fight for supremacy across the ruins of our old worlds. Last, you have Machines of War, Combined Arms. It's 6 vs 6. Heed the call of the Future War cult and master war on massive scale. Coordinate vehicles and your ground game to control battlefield and rout your opponents. Wow. So Combined Arms, 6 vs 6, the Machines of War, that sounds like the most exciting one in my case. Well, that's what I'm excited for. As far as socially engaging levels, you have the Tower. And now, on Earth we had an exploration area, old Russia. Venus has an exploration area called Ishtar Sink. The Moon has an exploration area called Sea of Storms, and Mars has Meridian Bay, which is an exploration area as well. As far as raids go, there's one on Venus, Vault of Glass it's called. It's levels 27, 30, 31. For story missions, Earth has 5 of them. One's called A Guardian Rises, Restoration, The Dark Within. We also have the Warmind and the Last Array. The Moon has 5 story missions as well. First called The Dark Beyond, then you have the Sword of Crota, the World's Grave, Shrine of Oryx, and Chamber of Night. Next, the Reef, or the Asteroid Belt, has 2 story modes. Okay, so an asteroid belt, that's interesting. First, the Awoken, second is called Akioi. Now, Venus has 5 story missions. The first is A Stranger's Call. The second is Ishtar Collective. Third is the Archive, and then you have Scourge of the Winters. Scourge of Winter, and last, Eye of a Gate Lord. And then Mars has 5 story missions as well. First is Exclusion Zone. Next, the Garden Spire, A Rising Tide, the Buried City, and the Black Garden. Now there's something completely separate from the story missions, which is called story challenges. And so far we know of one, and it's on Earth. It's called the Queen's Wrath, and you complete that at level 24. Just taking a look at some of that information, you can tell this is going to be a massive game. Now, someone from Bungie had stated, I believe it was Deej, he had stated on a Twitch stream that there's only one destination per planet. That's explorational destination, where you explore in multiplayer mode. So that's what they meant by that. They got a lot of negative feedback saying, oh, that's not good, it's going to be a small game. Well, Bungie replied to that quite quick. Bungie community marketing quickly responded, oh, hello, Destiny's pretty big. It's the biggest game we've ever made, by far. And we're sort of known for making games that you can play for months, years, and even decades if you're a little bit dedicated. With Destiny, we're looking to exceed what we've done before, not just in terms of scale. The moon is our smallest destination, but in terms of scope and breadth of activity. That's true for day one, as you expect, but it also means we want Destiny to have super long legs. If we're fortunate enough to have you playing months after launch and you still find lots of compelling stuff to do, that will manifest itself in a myriad of ways, from straight up content to cool activities we've yet to show off. We think we did a decent job supporting Halo post-launch, but we are only ever able to cater to the competitive set. That left a lot of players out in the cold. That made a lot of the team grumpy. We wanted to do better. So Destiny is philosophically built to support every type of player in all modes with ongoing activities and events. We look at it quite a bit like television programming as opposed to a singular film, as we had in the past. We think it's going to be pretty great, but we wanted to test out a bunch of our new stuff with the beta to make sure that we could flip knobs and levers live, reacting and responding with lots. And oh boy, did we see lots of players online and playing. Beta was water wings. Level 8 is nothing. You barely scratched the surface, and it seems like some folks had fun with what was there. If you did, good news. More soon.